GIS Level 1, ArcGIS Pro, Exercise 2. We'll continue using the same ArcGIS Pro project that we started in Exercise 1. If you don't already have it open it now. Data can be symbolized in a variety of ways, depending on the data format and the available attributes. That will be the focus of this exercise. We'll start by changing a single symbol. Navigate to the Cambridge Restaurants layer in the Contents pane and double-click on the symbol under its name. On the right-hand side, the symbol selector will open up. You can search for specific symbols or just choose ones that interest you. You can make additional modifications to the symbol in the Properties tab, such as the color, the fill, the size, the width, and a variety of other characteristics. If you've modified any properties, click Apply, and then you can close the Symbology window. Changing how all symbols look is one of the most basic ways you can symbolize your data. Next, we'll symbolize data based on categories. We will change the color of the MBTA lines, labeled as MBTA Arc in the Contents pane, so the color on the map corresponds to the color in the name of that subway line. Start by right-clicking on MBTA Arc and selecting Symbology. The Symbology pane will open on the right-hand side. Right now, all the MBTA lines are symbolized by a single symbol, which is this orange line. From the primary Symbology drop-down menu, choose Unique Values, which will use values from the attribute table to determine how the symbols are displayed. First, we have to select the field in the attribute table we will use to determine the symbology. You can look at the metadata for this data layer using the link from your exercise. This will describe each of the columns. We're going to use the line column, as this field has information about the different subway line colors. Next, we will click the Add All Values button. When you click this, ArcGIS Pro looks through your attribute table for all the unique values in this column. We can then choose a different symbol for each of the unique values that were found. Do this by clicking on the symbol for the line to open the Format window. From the Properties window, choose the appropriate color. In this case, this is the blue subway line. So I'll choose a blue color. When you're finished, click Apply. And then click the back button to be returned to the primary Symbology page. Pause the video and choose the appropriate color for each of the other subway lines. When you are finished modifying the Symbology, you can close the Symbology window. You may want to turn off the demographics layer to better see the subway lines. You can also right-click and select Zoom to Layer. Now we can see the results of the Symbology changes that we just made. Finally, we'll change the Symbology of the Cambridge demographics layer to make a choropleth map. Start by turning off the other layers in your Contents pane and zooming in to the Cambridge demographics layer. Another way to access the Symbology menu is through the taskbars at the top of the screen. Make sure that Cambridge demographics is highlighted, and then click the Appearances tab at the top and the Symbology button. This brings us to the same Symbology pane that we saw before. From the drop-down menu, select Graduated Colors. This will classify our data values into categories and assign them each a unique color. In order to see which field you should be using, you can open the text file from your data folder that you downloaded to see a description of each of the data columns. You can do this outside of ArcGIS Pro. The city of Cambridge is divided into census block groups. Value 2 is the median household income by block group, and that's what I'll choose to symbolize. After you've chosen a field to symbolize, you can choose the break method, classes, and color schemes from the drop-down menus until you are happy with your map. I'll leave mine with natural breaks. When you're happy with your map, you can close the Symbology pane. Now, instead of each block group being the same color, each block group is a different color based on the median household income values. The values have been grouped into ranges, as shown in the legend on the left-hand side. It's easy to see the areas that have higher median income values and those that have lower values. We'll look at how rasters can be symbolized. Turn off the Cambridge demographics layer and turn on your Cambridge DEM. Right-click on the Cambridge DEM and select the Symbology menu. There are different options for symbolizing raster data versus vector data. This DM is currently symbolized using unique values. This is most appropriate for values that each represent a different data category, such as land use. This data set is representing elevation, and so displaying each elevation value with a different color is a little difficult to look at. There are a few other options you can experiment with for this data layer. Stretch assigns a continuous color scheme from the minimum value to the maximum value for each raster cell. For discrete, you choose a specific number of colors to use when you're symbolizing data. And for the classify method, data are grouped into classes similar to what we just did when we created the choropleth map. Choose a different way to symbolize the raster. When you are finished with your symbolization, close the Symbology window. Expand the legend of the Cambridge DEM in the Contents pane. I can now see that the darker colors are the lower elevation values, and the lighter colors are the higher values. It's a lot easier to pick out hills and low points in the map than it was when each elevation value was symbolized using a different color. Once you have finished with this workshop, you can work on the take-home exercise on your own for more practice symbolizing data and for information on how to create a layout for printing or exporting your map.